The very next day, he goes to meet him personally. Strange asks how he managed to recover when his entire body had stopped functioning, because now Strange himself is desperately searching for a cure for his own condition. Pangborn then tells him that when his body completely failed him, the only things left were his mind and his faith. So he began trying to understand the true power of his thoughts and spirit. During that search, he eventually found the masters and was taken to Kamar-Taj. He explains that there he met the Ancient One. Because of her teachings and mysterious powers, his life slowly started changing. He found inner peace, and even his body began healing over time. Pangborn says that Kamar-Taj hides many secrets that ordinary people can never truly understand. But the miracle he witnessed there became the reason for his second life. After this, he tells Strange the way to Kathmandu. On the other side, carrying his last hope, Strange finally reaches Kathmandu. He tries searching for Kamar-Taj there, but nobody is willing to show him the right path. While wandering through the streets, a group of thugs suddenly surrounds him, steals his belongings, and starts beating him badly. Just then, a mysterious man with his face covered appears there. His name is Mordo. He scares the thugs away and takes Strange along with him to Kamar-Taj. Seeing this, Strange is filled with shock and terror. His spirit separates from his body and begins floating in the air. In fear, he asks what just happened to him. The Ancient One then tells him that he has entered the spiritual world, where the soul can exist even without the body. But this is only the beginning. In the very next moment, the Ancient One uses her powers to show Strange glimpses of the entire multiverse. Strange witnesses countless mysterious dimensions. In some places, strange creatures exist, while in others there are glowing galaxies, and some terrifying worlds are so horrifying that they shake him to his core. For the first time, Strange realizes how limited his thinking truly was, and that the universe contains endless powers and worlds beyond human understanding. After this, the Ancient One brings him back into the real world again. Strange is now completely changed from within. He immediately tells the Ancient One that he wants to learn all of this, and wishes to know how she gained such incredible powers, but the Ancient One refuses to teach him. She believes that Strange still carries too much arrogance and stubbornness inside him. The cold there is so extreme that a human can die within minutes. Leaving him there alone, she tells him that if he wants to survive, he must awaken the power within himself. Trembling from fear and freezing cold, Strange desperately uses all his strength to control the magical ring. After many failed attempts, he finally succeeds in opening a portal and returns back to Kamar-Taj. Now, Strange has become far more serious than before. Secretly, he starts reading the library's books and practices throughout the night without stopping. Slowly, he even learns how to separate his soul from his body, and because of this, he begins mastering magic much faster than everyone else around him. The next day, the Ancient One calls Strange to meet her privately. She tells him that compared to the other students, he is learning magic incredibly fast. That is why he now needs a special and safer place for his training. After this, the Ancient One takes him into the mirror dimension. Upon reaching there, Strange is left completely amazed, because the entire world appears to bend and shift like shattered pieces of glass. The Ancient One explains that the mirror dimension exists alongside the real world, but ordinary humans cannot see it. It is used for training, surveillance, and dangerous battles, so that the real world remains unharmed. On the other side, Mordo now begins teaching Strange combat training. He also shows him magical weapons that can change their shape according to the user's will. Seeing this, Strange excitedly asks when he will receive his own magical weapon. Mordo smiles and tells him that when a sorcerer becomes truly ready, the weapon chooses its master on its own. After this, Strange asks him about Caecilius. Mordo then explains that Caecilius was once the most talented student in Kamar-Taj, but after losing someone extremely close to him, he changed completely from the inside. He was highly intelligent, but just as arrogant. He constantly questioned the Ancient One and never fully trusted her teachings. In the end, he chose the path of dark powers and left Kamar-Taj forever. Strange chants a few spells, and suddenly time itself starts moving forward and backward in front of him. Broken objects begin repairing themselves, and it feels as if time has started reversing. Then, using that same power, he tries to view the torn pages stolen by Caecilius. That is when he learns about Dormammu, the most powerful ruler of the dark dimension. But just then, Wong and Mordo suddenly arrive there. They immediately stop Strange and warn him that tampering with time is extremely dangerous, because anyone who tries controlling time can eventually become trapped inside its own deadly cycle. Strange quickly explains that he was only doing what was written inside the book. Wong angrily replies that books only show the path to power, but never reveal the dangerous consequences behind it. And if Strange is not careful, then one day this very very curiosity could end up costing him his life. Mordo asks Strange in shock how he managed to use such a difficult power without completing his training. Strange replies that once he sees something, it stays permanently engraved inside his mind. He was able to finish his medical studies so quickly because of the same sharp memory. Hearing this, Mordo says that having a powerful memory alone is not enough, because using a dangerous force like time also requires wisdom, patience, and complete control. Wong reveals the complete truth to him. He explains that heroes like the Avengers protect the world from ordinary dangers and physical threats, but the duty of sorcerers is far more dangerous than that. They protect the world from mysterious dimensions and dark supernatural forces. Wong further explains that the Ancient One is the greatest protector of this entire order and is connected to the legendary sorcerer Agamotto. Centuries ago, Agamotto created 3 sacred sanctums. The first was in Hong Kong, the second in New York, and the third in London. Together, these 3 sanctums form a magical shield around the Earth that protects the world from attacks coming from other dimensions. Wong says that all the sorcerers of Kamar-Taj protect these sanctums because many dangerous creatures from other worlds want to destroy them, and among all of them, the most terrifying name is Dormammu. Dormammu is the immensely powerful ruler of the dark dimension. He possesses endless powers and an eternal hunger that can never be satisfied. He wants to absorb every world into his dark empire, and his eyes are especially fixed on Earth. Wong explains that the pages Caecilia stole contained a ritual for contacting Dormammu and gaining the powers of the dark dimension. Hearing all of this leaves Strange confused and frightened. Moments later, Strange loses consciousness and his soul leaves his body. Seeing this terrifies Palmer, and in panic she asks if he is dead. Strange's spirit then tells her that he is still alive, but slowly dying, so the treatment must begin immediately. Palmer quickly starts operating on him, but at the same time, the same follower of Caecilius whom Strange had stopped earlier arrives at the hospital. He also separates his soul from his body and directly attacks Strange's spirit. Now, a dangerous spiritual battle begins inside the hospital itself. Palmer keeps trying desperately to save Strange's life. Then, at the perfect moment, Strange uses his powers, which kills Caecilius's follower, and finally saves his own life. Strange tells Palmer that he missed her deeply all this time. Apologizing to her, he says that he treated her terribly, even though she always stood beside him during every difficult moment. In shock, Palmer asks where he had been for so many days. Strange then explains that when normal treatments failed to heal his hands, he eventually reached Kamar-Taj. There, the Ancient One showed him powers and worlds that he never believed could truly exist before. Then, in a serious tone, Strange then separates his soul from his body and follows her spirit. He sees that her soul is slowly drifting away from this world. Strange tells her that she must return to her body immediately, but the Ancient One calmly says that for a long time, she has been looking beyond the limits of time itself. She already knows that her end is now very close. She says that throughout her life she saved the world countless times, but after every danger, another threat always appeared. Then reminds Strange about Pangborn. She explains that he did not change himself only to heal his body, but learned to understand the energies of other dimensions. And now Strange stands before that same choice. Either he can use his powers to completely heal his hands, or dedicate his life to protecting others. Strange finally realizes that his hands truly can be healed, but the Ancient One warns him that if he uses power only for himself, then the world will lose a great sorcerer. She also admits that using the powers of the dark dimension was wrong, but sometimes rules must be broken in order to save the world. Strange says that Mordo will never accept something like this. The Ancient One then explains that Mordo suffered through pain and hardship since childhood, which is why he believes rules are above everything else. He enters the dark dimension and stands directly before Dormammu himself. Calmly, Strange tells him that he has come to make a bargain, but in anger, Dormammu instantly kills him. Then suddenly, time resets itself, and Strange appears alive before him once again. Strange repeats the same words, "I've come to bargain." Dormammu keeps killing him again and again, but every single time, time rewinds back to the beginning. In reality, Strange had trapped both himself and Dormammu inside an endless time loop using the Eye of Agamotto. Now no matter how many times Dormammu killed him, everything would simply restart again. Slowly, Dormammu becomes frustrated and furious. Strange then tells him that just as he gave Caecilius the powers of the dark dimension, he himself has brought the power of time into this place, and now both of them are trapped inside this endless cycle together. In the end, Dormammu finally gives up. He tells Strange to end the time loop. Strange then places his condition before him. He says that Dormammu must leave Earth, take Caecilius and his followers back with him, and never attack this world again. Left with no choice, Dormammu accepts his demand.